we are modifiers, right? We always take things to the next level, right? So we put an 8-inch where only a 5 1/4 can go. And all it takes is a little bit of modification.
So you can expect to get a lot more mid-bass just by doing this one simple mod right here.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Just want to shoot another quick video here. Did another modification. As everybody knows, I just wrapped up my front door panel fabrication project. As you can see here, turned out pretty well. Check out my other videos for actually a how-to of how to build those and also a distance test so you can hear how they perform. But just wanted to shoot one more video, something that was kind of bothering me that I wanted to take care of, but it was my rear door. I know a lot of people don't focus on their rear doors because, you know, the front stage is where it's at. However, I just want a little bit more mid-bass. And from the factory, my vehicle came with 5 1/4 inch speakers. And I originally drilled out the hole a little bit bigger to be able to fit 6 1/2s, but I still want a little bit more, right? Always taking it to the next level. So I wanted to put 8 inches in the rear door and I didn't want to do custom pods. And I was able to modify the panel enough to be able to fit an 8-inch speaker in the rear door. Now, I did it for my Hummer, but this is applicable for most vehicles out there. I know for a fact a lot of GMs like Tahoes, Yukons, a lot of Fords as well, they have massive space behind the door panels to fit a larger speaker, okay, in the factory location. Don't feel because your vehicle came with a 5 1/4 inch speaker in the door that's what you're limited to, right? That's newbie stuff, okay? We are modifiers, right? We always take things to the next level, right? So we put an 8-inch where only a 5 1/4 can go. And all it takes is a little bit of modification. So again, in this video, I'm gonna show you what I did, how I made it happen, and this is applicable for the rear doors, the front doors. If you don't wanna do custom pods, just make sure that you have proper clearance. I go over precautions to make sure you do so, like making sure you roll the windows down when you do this to make sure that it doesn't hit the magnets, you know, after you get everything installed. Also, I go over installing speaker rings and spacers if you need to give yourself an extra 1/4 inch or so. But again, don't limit yourself to what the factory gives you, right? Because they don't care too much about getting loud like we do, right? We want to put the biggest, loudest speakers in our car and make it look nice. So without further ado, enjoy the video. Here you go. For those of you just joining me, I just got done doing my front doors. Let me come around here, show you what they look like. Boom. I got 8-inch and 2 6 1/2s per door. Same thing on the other side there. And I got 2 super tweeters in the A-pillars there. I just want a little bit more mid-bass for the rear fill. So that's why I decided to go ahead and put the 8-inch in the door. I'm gonna do the same thing over there. Oh, I can't really see, because right now there's just a little 6 1/2. So as you can see the difference there, quite a size difference. So I'm gonna get a lot more mid-bass punch out of the 8-inch. And then I got this nice, it's actually made to be a subwoofer grill, but you can find those online for sale. It's gonna be some good protection because my son sits back here and he's gonna be kicking the heck out of this, so should provide some protection there. But yeah, and again, for those of you joining me for the first time on my channel, here is my setup. I got a Crescendo Encore 12K running off a Limitless Cyber 12K. My mids and front stage are ran by 2 Crescendo Symphony S4s. And then of course, I got my 2 ZV5 Sundown 15s in this custom built box, which absolutely pounds. As you can see, my light has been destroyed. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go through the process here of how to modify your door panel to fit a bigger speaker. And again, it could work for other vehicles, but definitely in the Hummer, if you have a similar setup here, it should work for you too. But without further ado, let's get this going. All right, so let me start off by just prefacing that in order to get to this point, you need to remove the factory grill and Dremel it out a little bit, okay, to create the opening for your speaker that I had there in the first place, the 6 1/2. So what you're gonna do is you can take off the door panel, which will make it easier, and I'm gonna show that here in a bit, but then you're gonna have to Dremel this out and just clear out that factory grill, okay, so that way it's not obstructing you to do the next step. So that's the first thing, and you can do the same thing on the front doors as well. But just wanted to go ahead and show you know, what it looks like right there. Okay, that's what it looks like from the factory. So that's what you're gonna need to cut out, okay? And get to this point here. Door handle, there's a Phillips head screw that I just removed. And then it go ahead and just pops out and you just wiggle it around the door handle. After you get that out, you can see 2 bolts there. I'm using a 9/32, and it's probably, you can use a metric as well, but I had my standards set out. So 9/32 works just fine to go ahead and take those 2 bolts out. All right, after you get those 2 bolts out, it's simply a matter of removing this panel here. All you do is you just kind of stick something under there, pry it out. That comes out. And then the door panel, just start pulling it away from the door. That easy. Okay, all the way around, and it just comes right off. All right, and then behind there's 2 things you need to disconnect. The LED light on the door, and then your window control plug there. If you're doing the front doors, you're gonna have 3 or 4 plugs on this side that you need to disconnect, and then also the same light on the other side. What you do is, now that you've gotten to this point here, and you've already trimmed out or cut out the factory grill, you're gonna take your grinder right here, and you're gonna grind it all the way down. See this raised area here? You're gonna grind it completely flat so it's even with this portion, okay? Because your speaker is gonna eventually lay flat against this panel here, but you need to get rid of this first. Word of caution here, this is pretty much exactly the mounting diameter that you need for your 8-inch speaker. So don't grind too far in this way, too far in this way. Make sure you just grind enough to remove this raised area. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so when all is said and done, this is what you're gonna be left with, right? A nice, smooth transition to your actual door panel. As you can see, the grinder got away from me a little bit there, but no worries, because the speaker will cover it. But just be careful there, so you don't end up scratching up something you don't want to. If you wanted to play it safe, you can maybe put a bunch of tape on top of here to protect it, but just be careful, take your time, you'll be good. There's a reverse process here. And then you got this little pillar here. Everything just snaps into place. Now, when you do this, here's the biggest thing, okay? You wanna make sure you put your window down, okay? Because what happens is, as you can see, there's your window right there, okay? And that's gonna tell you how much clearance you have to be able to mount a speaker, how big a speaker you can mount. Because last thing you want to do is, get all this done, you buy your speaker, you put it in, and then you roll your window down, the back window only goes down to here because it's hitting the magnet of the speaker. So a solution to that, and I have some of these just in case, let me show you really quick. If you're in that predicament, you can always get some of these, and I have these just in case, but these are speaker rings, spacers. These are 1 inch thick each, so these will give you an extra inch of clearance if you need to. And how those work are, before you mount your speaker, you just mount the spacer first, and then you put your speaker on top of it, okay? And that'll give you another inch of clearance. But in my particular case, I don't need to do that because there's plenty of space between here and there before the speaker hits. So I got kind of lucky there. So gonna go ahead and put this together now. The speaker is in, and as you can see, the size difference from an 8-inch to a 6.5, it's pretty considerable. So you can expect to get a lot more mid-bass just by doing this one simple mod right here. So just wanted to show the comparison. All right, guys, well, there it is. Hope this helped. Please make sure to like this video, comment below if you have any questions, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Let's get loud, people.